Now that we have finished how to set up a kinematic diagram, let's look a little bit more carefully at some of the links and the joints and their combinations, so that we'll know, especially for determining the mobility of these devices, just exactly how many links and how many joints we have. And because that's going to depend upon how the machine operates. So basically, we know that links and joints come either as a rigid form for links, and joints either come as a slider link or as a pivot link, or a slider or a pivot joint. So now there are some special conditions, and because these three conditions apply especially to the formula that we're going to be studying about mobility. The first situation is when we have only one pin and we have three links to it. It looks like we have just one pin and three links. However, for the determination of its mobility, we have to consider each of these links as pairs. So therefore, we're going to have the pair of link 2 and 3 and the pair of link 1 and 2. And if we consider those as a pair, then we have then to apply two joints to this particular situation. So when we're figuring out the number of links and the number of joints in a mechanism, if this applies, then we're going to use 3 links and 2 pins for that particular application. That's a very unique situation. Now the second one here is when we have a slider joint, and we're going to consider 2 links and 2 joints. And as I tried to emphasize from the book, that we have the slider is actually a link, and the rod on which it slides, or in this case here, the surface on which it slides, that would become a link. And then the joints would be, there would be one joint that would be for pivot, and the other would be actually where the block slides on the rod. So if the block is sliding on the rod like that, that is in fact a joint. Okay, so therefore we have the slider and we have the block. Okay, so that's 2 and 2. And the third situation is a piston, and the piston is generally connected to the frame or connected to a more complex joint, so therefore we have that in position, and then the rod extends from that rigid position. And in this case here, that we're going to have 2 links and 3 joints. Okay, 2 links and 3 joints. Just to clarify for you, here are the joints. There's a pivot here, there's a slider here, and then there's another pivot on the other end. So these will connect together to other links in the mechanism. And then the joints would be, or the links, excuse me, you have the cylinder link, which is this one here, and then you also have the rod link, which is that one right there. So we have those situations arise, and I think the problems that you're going to do or have done will have those situations. Okay? So now we're fully prepared, I believe, to do these kinematic sketches. Okay, thank you. 113, I think you return to